Hello and welcome to Live from the Kingdom. My name is Paul Inman, like it says over there, opposite side of my screen. Thank you for joining us for our weekly live stream. As we chat with special guest authors from Keys to the Kingdom, we get some behind the scenes stories, some sneak peeks, some insights into this anthology, The World of Dollar Babies, and more. As I said, my name is Paul Inman, and I made a dollar baby. It's called That Feeling. But also, my buddy, my friend, my pal, Mr. William Hanson himself, Billy Hanson, also made a dollar baby movie. What's up, Billy? How you doing?
Hello. What's going on? Well, first thing, a quick correction. My legal name is actually Billy.
Well, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Mr. Billy Hanson. I'm sorry.
I'm very offended by it, but it's okay.
Well, I'll just call you Bill, Big Bill.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's actually my legal name. Yeah, Big Bill Hanson.
No, Handsome Hanson.
Of course.
Of course.
Of
All
course,
right.
yeah.
So, thanks for joining us, everyone. Let's talk about the pre-orders, Billy. We have had an amazing time. I will double check right now. Let me just double check. We have 82 days left, it looks like, in the pre-order phase. 82 days, and we are at 19%. Oh, the irony with the Stephen King world. 19.
Yeah.
Everything is 19. Today is the 19th, so.
Oh my God, it is, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah, so it's everything. 19, right? So we reached 19% today, which is fantastic. We're not even 10% of the way through the pre-order cycle, and we are very close to 20%. So thank you out there. Thank you. We appreciate you. And if you haven't pre-ordered yet, why? You can.
It's totally worth it. You're really going to like it.
It is. And right now on the screen, at the bottom of the screen, is the link. It is inkshares.com/books/keys to the kingdom with hyphens between each word. Keys, hyphen, to, hyphen, etc. You get it. It's on the screen. Billy, we have a friend in today. We're going to talk to someone today, right?
I believe we are going to talk to someone. He is a good friend of mine, and I have known him for a very long time. Because like you and I are working on this thing together, this guest and I also worked on something together, and that was the Dollar Baby Film Festival that we did way back in 2013. Wow. The two of us had done Dollar Babies, and we said we should do a festival. And so we put together a screening of 8 Dollar Baby films, and we screened it as part of the Stanley Kamikaze Comic-Con event in LA. And so we had our own little section of that, and it was awesome. And it was hosted by Joe Bob Briggs. And so we got to, we put this whole thing together, the two of us, and we have been friends ever since. And, the two of us, we should just introduce him because I'm going to talk to him about all this stuff.
For it.
Yeah, it's my friend, James B. Cox.
All right, let's bring you up, James. Here we go. How's it going, buddy? Welcome.
Hey, it's good to see everybody.
Good to be seen.
Yeah, no, as you were relating our not our origin story necessarily, but at least I think one of my favorite things that we got to do together was that festival and meeting Joe Bob and working with him, and just all the drive-in memories that were suddenly in 3 dimensions in front of me. It was such a great experience, and we got to meet so many Dollar Baby filmmakers through that. That it really, I think, kind of was one of these great campfire moments for our community that, like, so few times, before that, had we all actually gotten to know each other and met each other in our travels. But anyways, I was reminiscing. Sorry about that.
It's funny. I was saying it out loud, and I was like, oh my God, that was back in 2013. That was 12 years ago at this point. Yeah. And so, but that really was, like you were saying, it was one of those great moments where I think all of us realized how strong the Dollar Baby community is. And that's really lasted. A lot of those people are involved with this anthology, a lot of the people that we met there. But we'll get to them.
Yeah. So speaking of the strong community, let's go and check out the chat. There we go. We got
Olin.
Yep. And guess what? We've got Julia, who had a birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, belated.
Happy birthday.
Hope it was fantastic. The pictures look like a lot of fun. Thank you for being here. And we've got, let me see, and we've got Karen here. Karen, who put us at 19%. What's up? How's it going? Thank you for being here. And this is a great one. Julia says 19. Kyle wills it. I love it.
And we're on the theme, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And then we've got a shout out to James. Nice.
Yep.
The Black Lodge. Is that the name of that background?
Yeah. I kind of threw something together. Yeah. But yeah, it's very as we get into the story later, it's very apropos. But yeah, nice. That is, I am in the Black Lodge, and you can see it is the laws of physics aren't the same here as they are in your terrestrial world. But if I start speaking backwards, I'm sorry, I can't help that.
Yeah, it's not a problem. It's not a problem with the streaming. It's he's just back there. Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. Awesome. Excellent. So you had mentioned your story. So tonight on this live stream right now, we are going to give you another sneak peek. Julia's excited. Another sneak peek from Keys. Words, you know what I'm doing? Like live from Keys to the Kingdom. So let's just. I'm just too excited. That's what it is. Let's just jump in and check it out. Do the honors, James.
All right. Well, here we are. My story is Hope's Howl. And this is the story of Pat Reagan, a ski patroller at a mom and pop mountain resort in the midst of a corporate takeover, which is a common thing happening more and more in ski world. But we can get into that later. He answers a search and rescue call that changes his life and brings him face to face with both death and a local legend. So I'll leave that little mystery dangling out there, but this is a story that is really, kind of what I took with the opportunity with this whole project was that, like, so often as filmmakers, we have to work in a certain mode, obviously the visual one. What I love is a good short story that really soaks in a space, and few arts in the visual medium really capture that as well as something like Twin Peaks or short stories that I love by Algernon Blackwood, like The Willows and The Wendigo. So if that gives you kind of a flavor for what we're venturing into, that's kind of the gig. But yeah, Hope's Howl is. So it's a project very dear to me.
That's awesome, man. Awesome. And it's very dear to us because it is going to be in this amazing anthology. This anthology is so packed with such fantastic stories and storytellers. It's going to be amazing. Let's see. Julia. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Sorry. Bolin said nothing, but Julia, can't wait to read it. Bolin did say, love the setting. Can't wait to read it. And Karen saying, interesting. That is so awesome. Yeah. So let's talk just a little bit about like the inspiration behind the story.
Yeah. So I guess I kind of spilled the tea a little bit there with Algernon Blackwood kind of being in kind of the forefront of my mind. And I know that's not Stephen King, but what I've loved in I guess maybe I'll do a little bit of storytelling here. Kind of my way of coping with COVID was I started reading authors' works like from like the first thing they published to the last thing in the case of A Few Dead Authors. Before I ventured into Stephen King's, omnibus of work, which I'd all been reading since I was a kid, but there's plenty of books that I had missed. But what I learned in reading is just how much he drew from these masters of horror of yesteryear. M.R. James is one that features heavily in me. H.P. Lovecraft, of course, but also Algernon Blackwood, who is one of those authors that I think really captures the weird, captures the spooky, captures dread that you can't quite put your finger on why it's creepy or what exactly is happening necessarily. It could all just be natural events, nothing weird, nothing bad, but there's something there going on. And those are stories that I really love. I think of Stephen King's N, to those who have read that one.
Love
these are the things that for me that are, another author I think of is William Hope Hodgson, with his stories like the I think it's called the Borderland or Border House. Sorry, I'm slipping on that. Somebody might chime in there, but these stories of like this uncanniness of what happens when you're alone out there. I don't know. They really they got their hooks in me. So I've also had a huge like fascination since I was a child with cryptozoology. So I hope that doesn't tip off too much of what's going on in my story. It shouldn't, but I love the idea that there's more to this world than we know, and that it's it's the truth is out there, X-Files, all that jazz, So, but yeah, I mean, literally, just as a bookish kid, I loved pouring through books of like blurry, grainy pictures, black and white pictures of things that were definitely there. So,
well, I got to tell you, man, like I was really excited when because I remember in the beginning, well, going back even further, James and I talking about who to bring on for this. I was like, we got to reach out to James because I know him. He's got stories. I know he's got stories. And sure enough, I think you sent us 3 different stories, and we liked all of them. Like all of them, they all would have fit really well. But I was kind of happy you did this one because just being from Maine, Winter Woods, I'm sold. Winter Woods, creepy, I'm there.
Well, I learned, my first experiences in the mountains were in the Sierra Nevadas, so it is a bit of a homecoming for me too.
Nice.
And it's an area I don't feel like has its like signature. Like the Northwest will always be Twin Peaks, right? And Maine, self-explanatory. But yeah, the Sierra Nevadas, and this is like where the Donner Party happened, where all kinds of creepy, terrible things happen to human beings, just like you and me, over its history. And yeah, it's just there's something about the place. It's haunted, you might say. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm psyched. Also, I should say this. I guess this is kind of another exclusive. I've never been published before, so for me, I am way excited just about the idea of getting to explore this new medium, which is prose and short stories, and kind of try to bring to this what I've always loved about a good short story, and tell a good yarn, and also kind of, I guess, pass on the legacy that is the Dollar Baby Project. So yeah.
Well, man, we talked about this with Julia last week too, but like I'm really excited at the idea of giving people their first opportunity to be published, because I remember when I did it for the first time and I had something published for the first time, it's such a different sense of like accomplishment and fulfillment, creative fulfillment. And I'm really excited to be able to share that with a lot of filmmakers that I know who are like, you're pulling kind of from the same places when you're writing these short stories. It's just a different mechanism and a different way of releasing these stories. So I don't know. I find it really interesting when people say they haven't done it and then they drop stories on us that are really good. And we're like,
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. Like, you've never been published, and my mind goes,
yeah.
And it's crazy. I don't know. And Julia first published story. It's going to be rad. Oh, this is also cool. I saw this in the chat too, from Nevada, and she was in the Donner Party play as a kid.
That's awesome.
I hope that's kind of, in my mind, that's kind of a weird play to be in as a kid. You know what I mean? Oh yes, and
Bolin's another one. Yeah,
that's awesome. And again, like these stories are just so good. Like it's surprising. Like Billy was saying, it's really surprising.
Well, that's what I mean. It's so cool to be able to introduce these filmmakers to the publishing world, the literary world, the short story world. And it's I don't know. I feel like it's something that I can see. And Paul, I know we've talked about this before. You can see the storytelling chops, not just like the filmmaking chops. It's storytelling. It's a little bit of a deeper thing.
Right.
And so It's exciting to see that kind of come out in a different way for everybody.
It really is cool. It really is. So let's take a look at your let's take a look at the log line again for Hope's Howl, and then we'll probably start wrapping it up because we've been on for 20 minutes here. All right. So once again, James, lay it out for the people.
So Hope's Howl is a story. You know, you want me to run through the log line?
That is totally up to you.
Okay. Well, I'll try to jazz it up a little bit, or at least I guess play some jazz. We'll see how it goes. So Hope's Howl is kind of my take on an Algernon Blackwood story. But I want to say, you know, one little twist that I'm trying to bring to it. That is, I guess, part of I think why I enjoy the characters in his stories often is that Pat Reagan is a ski patroller. He is a seasoned mountaineer. He is not a college student, you know, in a cabin in the woods situation. So what I love about stories about like this is that he's competent. He's in his element, and yet he is going to encounter something here that is life changing. And I really want to emphasize that, because for me, that's what makes some of these stories, I think, even more gripping and scary, is when the person who knows what they're doing is now put in this life or death situation, and it's still challenging all of their expectations and their understanding of reality as we know it. So he, you know, the search and rescue call is like a life-changing moment that really brings him to face with death and a local legend, which you'll discover as you read the story. So
of course, yeah, let's keep those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really awesome. Super duper excited about this. But we are going to wrap things up. But before we do, I just want to take a minute and say thank you to Stephen King Short Films and the guys over there,
Yes.
Burned, and all of the guys, Oscar, Leo, everybody. They made us a Facebook page. So if you want to follow that, just look for Keys to the Kingdom 2025, I think is what it's under on Facebook. So if you got a Facebook, pardon me, go over there, check it out. Pretty much everything and anything we post will end up there. Somebody will post it there for us. So if you got one, go check it out. And pre-order the book. 19% tonight. Just a few minutes before we started. Next Wednesday, 1 week from today, we will be back, and next week we will have Sean Lelos on the show. And if you would like to, this is a weird segue, but I'm just going to do it. Our email is at the bottom there. If you want to email us, dbanthology@gmail.com. And like I said, Sean is going to be with us next week. So come see us. We are on Facebook and on YouTube. You can watch us live. You can watch us later. Just come hang out with us. We're just having a good time. And Julia says, all things serve the beam, including my throat that just is in dire straits right now. So let me bring everybody else. There we go.
You need some Nozula.
Go. Yeah, go. Say something. I'm dying.
Oh man. Well, while you're doing that, let me take a second to say thank you to everyone who has already supported, because there are a lot of people who are not only picking up copies of the book, but sharing the stories, sharing these live streams, engaging with us and throwing comments on things. Well, we like to engage with people and chat back. So like any questions, any comments, throw them out there to us. We're happy to chat about it.
And you can follow us on social medias. Right down there, you see all three of ours. You got James's, Attaboy Billy, and mine.
And wait, one more thing I don't want to forget. Go. Make sure you check out James's movies, because they're all very good.
Yes.
Yeah. There's the Call of the Void.
Thank you, sir.
Is it out or coming out?
I wasn't necessarily going to pitch it because we were here on different business, but actually, Call of the Void is available for pre-order on iTunes, since you mentioned it.
Nice.
It comes out April 15th, and if you want a creepy story set in the woods, this is different than the short story, but it is really my attempt to really go full Lovecraft, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you love it. It's one I'm very proud of.
I saw it early on, and I can tell you it is very cool. It is very worth your time, and you will be creeped out by it. So
I'm
definitely
excited.
check it out.
I want to see it. I want to see it now.
Yeah.
Pre-order
on iTunes.
Speaking of pre-order, there's a book for pre-order. It's called Keys to the Kingdom. And thank you, James, for coming on. On behalf of James and Billy, my name is Paul, and see you next week, Wednesday, live from the Kingdom.